And that's important information that we can collect 5-10 feet potentially based on the light before we even get up to the door. Right? Why that's important is as the breacher, he may be farther back in the stack and he may not even be aware until that call comes up. Right? So as we're stacked up, for example, when we come to this door, we check it as maybe the number 1 or number 2, and we realize, okay, this is a locked door, we're going to need some sort of mechanism to get in here, i.e. a breach of some sort. We would call for an MOE. So an MOE up, so method of entry. This guy would come up and then assess the door. What we have on this door, which is a little bit different on that door, is where the mechanism is set. When we do decide to attack the door with the shotgun, in this case, your stack would be here, ready to have a gun up at the moment that there's daylight inside this door when it opens up. That way the stack can respond, the breacher would get out of the way. So as he shotguns the door, he can then check his gun, roll himself out, top up his shotgun, stow it as he needs to while the stack goes in and does what he needs to do. A common mistake with new breachers is they want to get into the fight, which I appreciate and respect, but you get in the way. Your whole purpose as a breacher is to get this door open and then get out of the way so the stack can do what they need to do. When we attack the mechanism, the intent for us, what we're trying to achieve is create what's referred to as a figure 8. So a figure 8 is if we've got a couple of shotgun rounds, the idea is to push all of the mechanism and the latch into the frame, and that's going to allow the door to open. That's the idea. So when we start to attack is we want the muzzle as close to where we want that round to fire as close as possible. Right? We don't need any standoff from here. The awkwardness of it and the proficiency of a good breacher is the position of our body. So rather than being inside the door where bullets could potentially come flying, we want to be as close to the frame as we possibly can. And then when we attack the mechanism, the angle at which we attack it is going to be really important. Remember yesterday I talked about being careful not to short stroke the shotgun? This is where you really want to grip onto the shotgun really well. When you release that one round, action forward, and as soon as possible, if that door had not opened, you're ready to give it another one. And the idea is what we're trying to do is create a figure 8 with our shotgun round. So if you fire one round, you're a little bit high, but the door is still hung up. Fire another one, and it's a little bit low. Generally, that will defeat the mechanism. Now, what we may or may not know is if there's multiple deadbolts or if it's breached on the other side. The only way we typically will know that is once the door gets cracked, then you'll see an indicator of such, right? I.e. a 2x4 lashed across it, maybe some chains, deadbolt, etc. Should we have a deadbolt, maybe in this position, then we would do the exact same thing. The angle at which would be a little bit different, and the reason that we're trying not to attack it straight on is for what? What's the main reason?
The round going through?
Yeah, going through into a potential innocent, right? So the idea is when the bullet or the shell travels, it pushes everything in, and then there's less debris that would be up where, you know, potentially people could be standing, i.e. innocent kids. As the breacher, be aggressive, not only with the shotgun, but with your feet. So if I get myself set up, we see the stack is ready to go, we give the nod, and I attack it, boom, boom, and I square myself up. When I square myself up, I want to kick the door as close to the mechanism as possible. Sometimes, and I've seen this happen, you boot the door, and if it's maybe a weaker door, hollow core door, or just a door that's been, you know, around for a while, it's not uncommon that the foot would go right through the door. So around the mechanism is where it's mostly reinforced. So when we boot it, it's with conviction. Right? So the offset, boom, boom, turn, boom, and then the head would be up, gun be up. If there was an immediate, you could potentially take care of it. But what happens is sometimes the breacher will get stuck in this position because they're assessing what's in depth. That's not your job. Once the door gets open, check your gun, and then start feeding the gun and get ready for the next problem, which could be down the hallway. Questions?